The feelings of having the cancer was kind of a slap in the face, but at the same time, I think it's a test of my faith. I had to remind myself that I'm a Christian and God's got a plan and He's got this, and I know where I'm going at the end of all of it. Fishing's always been about family for me, and I mean that from when I was a little kid. You know, it was a family affair, and especially, I think it was one of these things that my dad and I kind of came up with the rule. Hey, no matter what we do as a family, if we do travel, go anywhere, we're taking a fishing rod, and you know, if there's water involved, there will be fishing involved. And to when I started fishing tournaments, and my parents were always there supporting me, coming to the tournaments, coming to the weigh-ins. And then when I met this lovely lady and sold her when she heard that I was a professional bass fisherman, she was hooked at that point. So in our sport, there was a lot of highs and lows, and I think any career is that way. But you know, some of the highs for me, you know, over my career are, you know, making my very first Bassmaster Classic in 2012 of winning the Bassmaster Angler of the Year. I mean, that was, you know, it's probably one of the toughest titles, you know, regardless of what circuit it is, the toughest title in any circuit is to win the Angler of the Year. You know, winning a tournament is hard, but winning an AOY is the hardest thing because you have to be the most consistent angler over, you know, X amount of events.
There are very few people that know what their dream is and actually pursue it and make it happen. Very few people. A lot of people go through their whole lives just kind of not really knowing what they were called to do or what they feel is their actual dream, and then set out action plans to achieve that dream. And Brent did that. So, and his family has supported him the whole time. His parents were so supportive.
I mean, I remember getting laughed at by certain people, or you know, going to the local community college and you tell people what you're wanting to do and they look at you and they just roll their eyes. I remember my baseball coach, which he's now one of my biggest fans, but at the time laughing at me when I told him that I wanted to be a professional bass fisherman. He's like, you can't do that. No, you can't make it as a professional bass fisherman. But I mean, that's one thing I'm proud to say is it's almost 30 years and Team Chapman's still going strong in the fishing industry.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's amazing because to know what you want to do, chase it down, and be successful at it to support your entire family, that's a big deal.
I think that's been one of the biggest blessings for me is when we took that leap of faith and you quit your job and we decided to become a team in the fishing world. You know, you left a really good job that paid very well, and we took that leap of faith and where it's like, we're gonna make this a team where I can focus more on fishing and the fishing side of things and let you handle more of the business side of things. I mean, I know it was a huge help for me, it still is to this day. And I mean, I think you've done a pretty good job with it.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the CFO, the CEO, the COO, travel agent, everything, and he's the talent. Because I can't catch fish.
The unpaid talent.
He's the talent.
The unpaid
I do
talent.
everything besides catch fish, which works out great for us because I can't catch fish. So I need him to catch the fish so that I have something to produce and something to market or sell.
I was diagnosed with cancer, in October. I went in July for my yearly physical, and my urologist has a very strong Ukrainian accent.
He's from the Ukraine. Mm-hmm.
And he calls me and didn't expect to hear him call and him proceed to tell me, oh, by the way, you have cancer. He acted like it wasn't a big deal. He's like, we'll deal with it in 3 weeks with your follow-up appointment. And I'm like, oh, that's not gonna go well with this person here. And at that point, you know, when the realization hit me, I'm like, we've got to react pretty fast on this because we start our season in at that point, 8 weeks or whatever it was. And the fact that if you delay doing this, you run the risk of it metastasizing and getting outside your prostate.
Right.
And that's where we're at now. We've had the prostate removed and everything seems to be going great, but we'll know here in a couple weeks when I go back for a follow-up of actually if I'm cancer free. So this is at the point where we're fingers are crossed, we're praying and hope we get good results.
And honestly, we have not faced a lot of trials. I mean, we've had a pretty great life, and we have not faced very many trials. So this was kind of a big thing that we've had to face, and we're going to face it together. And I think we're facing it together.
It's been awesome.
Very well.
And I couldn't have done it without you.
I know. But yeah, we're doing good.
Yep.
Now we just have to wait for the follow-up test, but hopefully on the road to recovery.
Chapmans have always been about fishing. I've got 2 amazing kids, but Mason, early on when he was just such a little kid, he was my fishing buddy, and it was really something that really opened my eyes to being a dad of, you need to feed a kid's passion.
Yeah.
Whether it's baseball, football, music, whatever it might be, you need to recognize that passion early on.
I would agree. I think it's just funny that how your dad always had you fishing, and since we've always been working, like most of our family photos are of Brent's dad fishing with Mason. Or going.
Well, but
in
yeah,
fact, actually, when Mason first graduated high school, they took that whole next year and went and fished the Toyota Series as co-anglers together.
They were professional co-anglers.
So they were professional co-anglers. So Mason got to spend that entire season on tour with his papa. So that's pretty cool. And they're best friends.
Yeah.
How many 21-year-olds say that their grandfather is their best friend? But they're pretty tight. They're pretty tight.
So yeah, that's been really neat, is watching Mason and my dad fish together now. And Mason teaches both my dad and I a lot about fishing now, because Mason, I'm still better than Mason at catching fish. He may disagree, but Mason has way more knowledge than I do, as far as he's always teaching me the new trends, the new techniques, the hottest lures. He even went to Japan, has been taking Japanese, so he's learning all the secret techniques from the Japanese before they get over here as well. So it's been really a neat relationship, I guess, to see how it's evolved all around fishing.
Yeah, so Mason's fishing with Brent all the time, and Michaela is the hunter.
Yep.
So he has one for each hobby.
Yeah,
so.
my daughter's more of the hunter, and my son is more of the fisherman. The partnership with KastKing, it started in 2019, right?
Yeah.
And when I heard from Al Norker that he was telling me about this new brand he was working with, and I'd worked with Al. I worked with Al at another company, and to see him leave,
the level of excitement that Al had.
Exactly. The level of excitement that Al had, and I knew he left a very stable, good job to go with this company to build this brand. He got my attention, and it was really a good fit for me, and got on board with KastKing in 2019, started fishing their stuff, and it really, he had me sold when the quality innovation was there, and been fishing the stuff ever since. And what's really a testament to the brand of products is a lot of guys get brand new rods and reels every year. I'm still using some of the rods and reels from that very first year.
They last.
They just last, and it's affordable innovation, and that's what keeps me going. And it's been neat to see how it's progressed over the years, and it's really partnered and been a perfect fit for this new Brent Chapman combo they've come out with. I'm always passionate about teaching new people to fish and giving them the opportunity. So when I got to pair up with them, Al approached me. He's like, okay, if we do this combo, what do we need? I'm like, well, I'm trying to remember back when I was new to fishing. There's, people always want to get one rod and reel to get started. So I was able to help KastKing design these 4 different types of rods. So this way, that are in a combo together, so it makes it simple for somebody, let's say a new mother that has a son that wants to try fishing, or whoever it might be. Here's a good way to introduce your kid if they just want to get into fishing for panfish. We have a setup for that. Or if they think that they want to look like the pros on TV, here's a bait casting setup that can get your kids started, and it should have everything at least to help pique their interest in the sport.
But not just for kids.
But no, not just for kids,
just for anyone that wants, like if you're trying to find a good gift idea for a beginner fisherman or somebody getting into the sport and you don't know what to get them, this has everything together.
These would be a combo that we tried to design the best rods and reels at an affordable price, along with a little bit of tackle, regardless of who you are. If you're wanting to get into the sport of fishing, here's some combos that can help get that job done. They already have line on them. There's a kit there. Everything is there that all you have to do is put the reel on the rod and tie your favorite lure or bait on, and you're ready to go fishing.
I mean, the only other thing I would say is we sure had fun. I mean, we sure had fun camping and traveling the country and pulling to different campsites. And
that is definitely one of the things when you look at a
parts.
career that has flown by, and parents can attest to this, especially if you have, is how quickly becoming a parent to being a parent to having young adults, how fast it goes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you really look at it, when we thumb through photos and you're like, wow, that would seem like yesterday, you know?
Because we were traveling the country in the camper, and so we would stop to go skiing, or we'd stop at the Grand Canyon, or we would stop and go hiking to the caves.
Campground in Arkansas, or go watch the bats in Alabama. I mean, wherever it might be.
We've done a lot of fun stuff. We've done a lot of fun stuff.